Hi, welcome back to Miss Candy's Land. I have some requests from parents um, for topics, and it's kind of crazy because there's two topics that seem like they're completely separate topics, but they're very related because you handle both the same way. One is the blame game. You know, if you get a provider or you have a teacher or, someone who comes around that, doesn't seem to know what they're doing, or they won't listen when you ask them, to do certain things certain ways. And the other topic is the expectations of family members. So when you're telling family members, oh no, he really shouldn't have too much sugar, or I know he really loves a tablet, but he should only be playing it, X amount of time. Because these parents understand what oversaturation is. And oversaturation is if you have something that your child really loves and they work for you for it, if we give it to them in times that we don't require anything back, they become bored, so you have to find something else that would excite them. And that's really hard. So, so we always want to make sure that when dealing with caregivers and family members that they are respecting what we're asking. The cooperation and the collaboration and being on the same page is one of the most important things with all the different people you have coming into your children's lives. So with caregivers, it's the same problem. It's the same issue. It's that there's no training, right? You're trying to tell them and everything, but again, if they haven't seen something that explained it to them, they just think you're mean, right? Or caregivers just think, well, I'm doing what the company that sent me here told me to do. So it is just their training. So I never actually blame a caregiver. I blame whoever sent them, right? If it's not going good. And with family members, I don't blame them either. The blame would really go to not being given the right words to be able to say to someone so that they could understand why I'm saying, please don't do this and please do this when they agree or disagree. So the best way to handle this, really, because you could just sit and blame everybody, or you could try to, come up with some solutions. And so that's what I'm here. I'm here to tell you about a couple of solutions. So say you have a family member that hangs out with your kid, or maybe watches your kid, and your kid's in therapies and you've got everything, all straightened out. You've got this routine and your kid is flourishing, but they have to go see this family member, and this family member decides that, no, I think they work too much. I think they need to be given all this candy, and all these things they're not allowed to have, that I have seen with my own eyes that they're not allowed to have all the time. Or maybe they don't see when they get them, because again, it's like if people just threw money at you all the time, why would you go to work? You wouldn't need to. You wouldn't do it. You might not leave your house. You may become very unhealthy, So they don't see it in that way. And so same thing with a caregiver who comes into your house who, a company gave them the 2-hour training or whatever. And, they're going to come in and be like, well, no, this is the way we have to do it. If you speak to that caregiver and that family member in the same way and on the same terms, you're going to find that caregiver won't come work for you anymore, or that family member, might just start to fade out, right? Because they don't understand. And this takes a big, big portion of patience and understanding, right? So what we want to do is, if a caregiver's coming in and they're not doing what we need them to do, we definitely want to call the company. We definitely want to say, hey, they need some more training, or this is my guidelines and I'm not going to settle for less. And I think a lot of parents don't realize that it doesn't matter who it is. You don't have to settle for less. I don't care who it is. I don't care what family member it is. I don't care what company they came from. If you feel like you know what's best for your child, there is nothing else. And they will, family members will try to say, try to talk to you maybe if they're older, and try to act like, well, I've raised all these kids and I know what to do. And a caregiver might say, well, I work for this company and I know what to do, right? At the end of the day, you're the parent, and you have to sit with that. You have to say, I say. It doesn't matter what they say. They may try to make me believe that I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know. But if you are trying some things and your child is making progress, it's worth it to maybe have to have some kind of confrontation. Obviously, we don't want to. It's more like a dance. I'll show you this and then you can try this. And you know what I mean? We're dancing around everything instead of just saying stop, right? Because that might cause a fight or that might get you to lose your services but at the end of the day, if you're not getting the services that you need, or if it's causing your child to go backwards, which I do see a lot of, a regression, then you need to take that bull by the horns and you need to let them know it's this way or it's no way. Okay. Period. And in Arizona alone, for getting someone to come in your house and take care of your kid, there's like 850 vendors, right? It's a huge competition. So I feel like if it's like that in a lot of states too, with the way they do it. So I feel like if you tell them, I'm not happy with this, they're either going to send you someone else or they're going to really try to work it out, right? But with family members, we're not so lucky, right? It's going to be a little bit different, right? We don't have all these different vendors to go get family members from, unfortunately. Sorry about my phone keeps going off. But some family members, if they don't respect you and they don't respect, your wishes and what you're doing with your kid, maybe it's time to take a break so that they know you're serious, that you're not willing to chance your child knowing where he can go and feeling confident within himself and making all these strides. You're not willing to put that up for grabs. It's not about anyone else's opinion. It's about what works for you. It's about how you can get it done, what you can get done, and who respects that. All right. So I just wanted to give you guys that. So, I have to do it all the time. I have parents that have to do it all the time. We have to say, no, stop. That's not okay with me. That's not how we want to do it. Or, have somebody who's working or volunteering for me and come in and they are, we're all just sitting around looking at a tablet. We've been doing that for 25 minutes. Well, that's what they wanted to do. Or, I don't feel like they get enough tablet time. And it's just like, okay, well, that's why you're not in charge. So that's kind of your persona. That's why you're not in charge of my kids. That's why I don't call you when I need services, right? Sounds harsh, but what's at stake is it's just too much to try and skirt around people who don't respect what you're trying to do with your children. All right. And with that, you guys have a very happy Thursday.